Okay, here we are inside my studio, my little wee studio, and I do mean wee. It's 8 feet by 12 feet. My camera seems to be struggling today, so hopefully this works out not too bad. It seems to be having trouble maintaining any kind of focus, but we'll make it work. There's a little painting my friend Angela did. I don't know. I really like it. She wasn't too thrilled with it, but I think it's pretty cool. She made it out of scrap paper, so I keep it up in my studio. We come around here, we see this thing, not the canvas itself, but this wall-mounted easel contraption that I built, and for the most part, I built it out of scrap stuff. It's fully adjustable up and down and side to side. I can put, just wait for the thing to see if it'll focus or not. Other than these little thumb screw things that I had to buy, there's 4 of them, so I probably spent about $10 worth of hardware on this thing. But, see if I can zoom in there. Maybe see that. Can we see that? No, we can't see that. That's out of focus. I don't know what the camera's doing weird things today, so I won't get too close to anything. So yeah, I can put up to a 5-foot square canvas on there, and it doesn't intrude into the room. So it's kind of a nice setup. I did borrow the idea from somebody else I saw online, but I kind of cheapened the thing up a little bit to suit my own needs. So I'm pleased with that. So that works good. That gives me some options I didn't have before. And then my shelf with all my junk on it. There's a light for the desk, my clock, and some other little trinkets and things. Some of them I made. Some this weird thing here my daughter made. It's just so funny. There's another one over here on the shelf. I don't know if you can read that. It says, "I am fish." Apparently it's fish. And a few other little needs and things. It's nice to have stuff around you that's yours, that means something to you in your work area. Even if it's not physically related to the process of creating something, it's not a tool you use, it's something that pleases you. You know, it makes you happy to see it. So keep those things around. A little magazine rack, which we used to have in the house, but I found a good use for it out here. And down in this area, I have my another little tool chest. I bought this at IKEA. And I really like this thing. I can keep all my little extras. It's got, what, 5 or 6 drawers. It was like $40. It's on wheels. It's awesome. So I could pull it out if I needed to. Well, there's my heater. It's wintertime, remember? So the heater does a surprisingly good job in here. But it's my drawing table, which you can see is very well used. And was free. When I was in college the first year, they were going to throw this out because it was broken. And I said, no you won't, I will put it in my truck and take it home. So I drilled some new holes, put some new bolts in it, and it functions perfectly. It adjusts on an angle, and it adjusts up and down. So it's been very, very useful. I've been able to get a lot more done out here because of it. So that's been good. And a few other little shelves and things. This little wooden shelf right here in the window, which is actually very strong. There's a support piece underneath. That's designed specifically for my laptop, so it can sit there. So if I'm watching a video or if I'm working from a video or whatever, it can sit there. It's right in my line of sight and it doesn't interfere with the space on the table, which is kind of nice. And we come up here. These are just assorted other trinkets and things. Oh, there's my weapons of mass destruction. That's just all my palette knives and scrapers and things like that. When I'm working, some of the classes I teach will do one night where they're not allowed to use a paintbrush, and so I present that box and whatever kind of weird things they can find in there. That's what they get to paint with, so which is kind of fun. There's my Vincent van Gogh. My wife bought that for me because it looked like our big doofus, and it's kind of done like a Van Gogh sort of painting. Fortunately, I discovered the couple leaks, so it sits out here now. And there's a fan for in the warmer weather. It can get quite toasty in here, but I do have lots of screens on the windows. So the airflow is pretty good when everything's open. Now I'm trying to step back here so we can see a little more. And there is my library, which has a lot of different. I don't have, there's probably a few hundred books there overall, and magazines and things. Most of which are art related. Some are how-to, some are art history stuff. Right? You can see all the usual things. And then there's extra sketch pads and things. That white box, that's actually full of comic books. One comic book in particular, that one and this long one, it's just one series from its very beginning to its finish, from like the late 70s to around 2000 or something like that. It was the only one I ever bought. So, and I've kept it. One day when I completely retire, I'll sit down and read them all right from the beginning again, but that's still a few years away. And then I have some stuff. There's more art-related things. Some military history, automotive, music, things like that. I find all that stuff helpful. And the other thing I like to buy, and these are the ones down here, these are more or less giant coffee table books. So when you see a book on mountains of China or some such thing in a thrift store and it's like $2, well, buy it, right? Because those are excellent sources not just for reference, but for inspiration in some way. And if you're only spending a couple of dollars on it, who cares if you got to cut a picture out here and there to do something with, right? Oh yeah, there's a bunch of, if I come back up here, I'm trying to go slow, so it focuses at least a little bit. There's a lot of photography stuff. Yeah, there's my other Vincent thing. And I switch up here to some of my toys, things I've collected over the years. Stuff that means something to me. It's not really important. They're just objects, but it makes me happy to see them, right? There's a hat that used to belong to my father. That's a McFarlane tartan, and so is the green below it. And a couple of walking sticks. One of those is very old, apparently. And there's a piece of wood I drew on and painted on a couple of years ago. I just thought I like painting watercolor on wood. And then we swing over here. There's another light, which is, you can see, is bolted to the wall and aimed directly at my library. So it means I can sit down here on my nice comfy little stool and I can read, or even just to select a book. Right, I come up here and I have my TV, which is attached to a high definition antenna. So I get about a dozen or so channels in high definition. The picture's as good as it is in the house, which is nice. I'm not going to bother turning it on because it takes a moment for it to warm up, especially in the cold. And then we come down here. There's my little portable cassette player. We normally take that up to the trailer when the weather comes around, but in the winter it lives here because I can play my cassettes on it. Because we come down here, we can see I have 2 drawerfuls of cassettes, plus there's an extra box or 2 down inside the cupboard here. So I think I counted almost 400 cassettes last time I looked. And it's nice because there's some stuff there I don't even have on vinyl, which is my next thing. Is my record player, my turntable. I can play pretty much anything I want. I have my vinyl collection inside, so I keep this little rack thing there. I can bring a handful of records out if I'm going to be working for the day. I do have these little computer speakers, which right now hook up to the TV and the portable cassette because they sound pretty good because there's a small subwoofer with them. But the stereo itself has actual speakers. There's one there in the corner under that little wooden box, and if we swing all over here, we can see one in that corner as well. Plus there's a subwoofer living down there. That's what that big black thing is. There's a big subwoofer. So if this thing gets cranked up, it actually shakes this whole little building. So, and we come back to this cabinet. We can see I've got paper. There's 2. It's actually quite deep. There's lots of storage for paper. Some of it used, some of it not used. Photographs, reference material, that sort of thing. In here is my VHS collection. Sorry, I'm rotating the camera. I shouldn't do that. That messes people up. Why have you got VHS tapes? Well, I do actually have a VHS player still, although my friend Sean is still in possession of it. I have to come around and collect it from him at some point in the near future. So it'll come back out here and I'll be able to watch VHS tapes on here. And this thing I made literally out of a skid. You can tell by the condition of the wood. In fact, there's a big number stamped on the side. I just cut it up, and it's on wheels. It rolls, right? So in here, I keep if I got tubes and stretchers for canvases and rolls of paper, things like that. There's my portable easel and a tripod. I actually made this really cool thing, again, an idea I borrowed from someone else, where I have this small flat piece of wood that fits on the top of my tripod. So if I'm doing watercolor in the field, I've got a nice lightweight support that I can work from. That's very easy to carry. So it goes with that. And an old carpet from my kid's room that I put down that she didn't want anymore, which is nice. So you can actually be out here in bare feet in the warm weather and it's quite comfortable. Nope, let me turn this around, put it the right way up. Correctly. There we go. Yes, we are. We're one of those. And that's pretty much all. There's not much else going on in here. As you can see, it's not very big, but I make it work. Would I like more space? Of course I'd like more space, but this is what I have, so I make it work as best I can. If I could do anything, I would push the roof up a couple of feet. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but you can see the roof is quite low, and that would gain me quite a bit of storage space. I actually put a new roof on the top, and I even rebuilt this floor. This floor started to collapse in a couple places. It had rotted through. So I had to pull all the old stuff up, put new floor joists in, and a whole new subfloor and everything else. So, which is why I hit my head when I come in the door now, because the floor is a little closer. I've lost a couple inches, so I have to duck now. But anyway, that's me. This is where all the work happens. There's my shelf again, built out of scrap wood, and you can see all my drawing papers and things sit on there, which is kind of a nice thing. That was an important piece to build, because otherwise this stuff would be everywhere. You would not be able to even move in here with this junk. And actually I got rid of quite a few things. I had to empty the place obviously to do the floors. So and that's it. There's the view out my window, looking at all my junk outside. There's another storage shed back there, right in the very back corner of the property. If we look out this window, there's the house. So I'm quite isolated, which is nice. It's nice to be, you kind of feel connected with the world, but you're left alone as well. And yeah, it's wintertime. It's cold out there. Even the dog doesn't like going out at this point. So, and that's all. So hopefully this posts up okay and people can watch it and see what you think, and send me a note if you like it, or don't like it, doesn't matter. It's what I'm stuck with. So and we will see you down the road when we got some more stuff to show you. Thank you.